we are going to be doing an activity like a flipbook activity. And it's who's who in the gold rush. And we're going to be looking at people that were important to the gold rush. And today, you guys are going to work with me and finding out Sam Brannan's role in the gold rush. All right? Now, you're going to need out your reading logs, and I want you to put your 3 columns in your reading log. And you guys remember how we label those 3 columns? Yeah. All right, what's in the first column? Important information. What about the middle column? Interesting facts. And then what about your last column? My thinking. If you could do that for me, that'd be great. Okay, our goal today is to pick out what is important information and sort that from interesting facts. And to do that, you've got to have a main idea. And I've got that main idea for you already. Today we're going to talk about Sam Brannan and his importance in the gold rush. So there's our main idea. So once you have your main idea, it kind of gives you a purpose for your reading. And I have 3 sources of information that we're going to look at today, okay? And the purpose for you looking at that information is to determine important information about Sam Brannan's goal in the gold rush. And it's important to always come back to that, because if you know your main idea and it's clearly stated, then you know what you're going to look for, and it's going to be much easier for you to sort that important information from interesting facts. So we're really going to focus right here on this part of our determining importance poster. Okay? Possible main idea, well, we've got that. Sam Brannan's role in the gold rush. We've got our information. Our purpose is to sort through that information, find the interesting facts, and sort that out from information that's really important. That's our goal for today. Our job now is to sort through some information. And I've collected some information on Sam Brannan. I actually have something up on the overhead already that I found online I thought was really good. And we're going to have some discussion about this information, because we need to pick out of here, we need to sort through here and find the points that show why Sam Brannan was important to the gold rush. Now, you know that when you have expository text like this, you're going to find important information, but what else is there besides that important information? Who can tell me? Besides the important information, what else do you see? Tristan? Yeah, there's some interesting facts that the author likes to throw in there to kind of keep the reader engaged. So we're going to sort through some information. Right here, I have just a little, this is actually from a website that a teacher did. And this teacher is talking about the gold rush, and there, Sam Brannan. And she mentioned Sam Brannan. So, you know, right away that tells me, yes, Sam Brannan was a very important person to the gold rush. I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to have you guys discuss in your table groups the information from this website that you think is important to Sam Brannan's role in the gold rush. Then a man named Sam Brannan, a merchant from San Francisco, saw his opportunity to get rich, and he did it without ever mining. No, it's actually been really easy. You know, a lot of the instruction that I do, the whole group instruction I do, and reading group, small group instruction, I use nonfiction text anyway. That seems to be an area of need, you know, in helping kids comprehend nonfiction text. So I think it lends itself really well just to social studies. It's kind of like a seamless, you know, transition, actually. You know, the lessons that I'm doing in social studies could very well be lessons that I'm doing in reading as well. So it works really well. Mr. Brannan had a brilliant plan. Before he spread the news, you think about what you are instructing in reading. You want kids, when you teach them strategies, you want them to be able to use these strategies anywhere they are and whatever they're reading. And so it just makes sense that, you know, when you're working on social studies and reading the type of text you do in social studies, they should be using those strategies there as well. But sometimes it takes, I think, it's important to make them aware of a strategy they are using, saying, hey, you know what, this is something that we learned in reading, and you know, this is something that I want you to use when you're reading your text in social studies, or reading this passage out of a magazine or a Time for Kids. So yeah, I think sometimes you really have to be explicit about telling that to kids because they may not think in those terms. Oh, it's reading. So you know what? I need to be determining importance. I need to be like making inferences when, yeah, you're supposed to be doing that regardless of when you're reading. All right. Now, turn to your partner and see if you guys can find the important information. And you've got to remember that you're looking for information about his role and importance in the gold rush. And let's sort through that, see if we can find some important information. Okay, talk with your partner. You guys see anything over here that you think would be important? I'll let you get that written down there. You think about what he did, and he sold those things for so much. Is there a word that comes to mind that we've talked about that might fit him? Greed? Yeah, greed. Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, greed.
What else did you guys find in that article that you thought might have been placed either interesting fact or important information?
Ran through the streets.
Logan? Go ahead.
He ran through the streets shouting about the discovery of gold.
And where did you put that?
Important information.
What do you guys think? That he ran through the streets. And why is that important information?
Because that kind of...
Hold on. Cameron, what do you think?
It's because if he didn't do that, nobody would have bought all the paintings that he spent on. But since he said that, everybody bought the paint.
All right. So
He basically started the gold rush.
He basically started the gold rush, didn't he? I think the explicitness of the lessons is helping, but it's not easy. You think about when a student reads nonfiction text, and especially the type of text that they're reading stuff that, the authors always do throw in, those things that do engage you, like those little interesting facts, and getting them to understand that, yes, this is an interesting fact, but, you think about the main idea. Is it really important to the main idea? That's really challenging, and a lot of my students still, I found, have a difficult time. But, as I listen to discussions, I definitely see them headed in the right direction, and they're saying the right things, and I hear them starting to get an idea of how to sort out the interesting facts from important information. And one thing that, I realize is really important is that they do need to have a good, firm understanding of what the main idea is. Because until you know that, you're not going to be able to sort out interesting facts from important information. What word did I hear you say?
He would earn a lot of money.
It's like he was greeting people because he bought stuff cheaper and then he sold it at his store for more than it was worth.
Okay, so I heard the word greed. Would you guys agree that Sam Brannan was a greedy person?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to another source here. And I want you to look at the title of this because you've seen this title. Success Without a Shovel. Okay, so what do you think success without a shovel means? There's Sam Brannan in the middle of this article. What do you think that means, success without a shovel? Sydney.
He was successful even though he didn't mind really. He sold stuff and he got rich off of that, so that's how he's successful.
Okay.
Without
All right, Matthew, do you have something to add to that?
he might have mined something without a shovel, but then he probably sold a lot more stuff so he would get rich.
Yeah, and I think we know enough about him to know that he really wasn't interested in working really hard. He had another plan, didn't he? All right, so here we have a little bit of information on Sam Brannan from that article, Success Without a Shovel. I'm going to read that to you, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to see if we can pick out any more information, important information that we would want to add to our chart. Sam Brannan, the Mormon leader who brought his followers to California in 1846, established a store adjacent to Sutter's Fort. So, would we agree that that's important information that he owned a shop? Yeah. All right, let's write that down in important information. Yes, Griffin.
You came up with something that I think we just realized Sam Brannon actually made the gold rush last because he sold his stuff for more and more people had to get more money and stuff. So if he didn't open that shop and sell the supplies for more money, the gold rush would have gone faster because it was less money in different shops.
Okay, so you think the fact that he sold stuff for so much meant it took people, they had to get that money, and it took a while to get that much money to buy those supplies? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, what if they did? So what are they doing here? They're making an inference. Okay. You know what? Let's put that under my thinking. I think that's a great thing to put under my thinking. Well, I wonder if he tried to make the gold rush last longer by doing exactly what those guys said, sold his stuff for a lot of money. That's a great thing to put under my thinking. Okay, back up here, guys. Let's talk a little bit about what we've just done. Okay, we had our main idea. We were looking for information that was important to Sam Brannon's role in the gold rush. Okay, and we have sorted and sifted through 3 pieces of information here. We had something online, we had a little booklet, and we had a copied article from a magazine, okay? And through that, then we've determined what the important information was and what's just interesting facts. And you guys have also had some really interesting things under my thinking. So through determining this importance and sorting and sifting that information, we now know how we can support our main idea of Sam Brannon in the gold rush. Now our next step with this is to look at some other people that were important to the gold rush. And you guys are going to get some information on those people, and you're going to have to go through the same steps. You're going to have to sort through that information, and you're going to have to find what's important to each particular person or group of people that you're going to be studying. Okay, and you're going to take that information, find the important information, and sort it out from the interesting facts, and then you'll have something to go to that you can use to write like a quick summary about that particular person or people.